EU foreign ministers are meeting in Brussels today with the war in Ukraine high on their agenda. The ministers will discuss new sanctions against Russia aimed at preventing sales of Russian oil via third countries. Ukraine's foreign minister, Dmytro Kuleba, will take part in the conference by video link. Ministers will also discuss imposing further sanctions on Iran. Well, joining us now to talk about all this is our Brussels bureau chief, Alexandra van Namen. Alexandra, Ukraine's foreign minister will address his EU counterparts in a video call. What can we expect there?
Well, Terry, Mr. Kuleba is in a constant exchange with EU foreign ministers, so I would expect him to address the most pressing issues that are here at the top of the agenda. One of them, of course, how to increase military assistance to Ukraine. That is something that the EU foreign ministers will speak about. And, of course, I would expect him also to raise the issue of Western fighter jets after the decision this weekend when Ukraine's Western allies decided to train Ukrainian soldiers on those modern fighter jets, including American-made F-16s. And the decision to provide them, as we just heard, has not been made now. But if they are going to be provided to Ukraine, they will be coming from European stockpiles. So I would expect Mr. Kuleba to press his counterparts here to make this decision very quickly. And as you just mentioned, a new sanctions package is on the agenda as well. However, it seems that EU member states are dragging their feet on that issue, with some being a bit concerned how far they can go, because they would like to target now third countries and companies that are helping Russia evade EU sanctions.
Okay, so sanctions against Russia, one thing, but new sanctions against Iran are also on the EU foreign minister's agenda there. What's the background to that, Alexandra?
Well, we heard about that from the German Foreign Minister, Annalena Baerbock, who told us that she is very confident that they are going to approve a new sanctions package against Iran. And the background of that is, of course, the decision by Iran to execute 3 activists just 3 days ago. And Baerbock told us that it's important for the EU to show that they are still watching, that they are determined to hold those accountable who are responsible for human rights abuses in Iran.
And finally, the EU is also considering further sanctions against Belarus. Tell us more about that.
Well, there are indeed a lot of punitive measures on the agenda. And here again, when we talk about Belarus, the Lithuanian Foreign Minister Landsbergis, for instance, told us that it's important to show that the EU knows what's happening in Belarus, that there are people still in jail. More than 1,000 activists are still in jail, and that it's important, one other minister told us, to treat Lukashenko in the same way as Putin is being treated. So new sanctions are on the agenda. However, here it's not quite clear whether the ministers will be able to agree on that.
Alexandra, thank you very much. Brussels bureau chief Alexandra van Namen.